Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another BDE podcast. My name is Stephen Hawley, and I'm here in the studio with my main man. He always wears his khakis with a cuff and a crease. Shelton Walker. Shelton, my friend, how are you today?
I'm doing much better now, man. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. We messed up. Well, did we though?
No.
Did we?
And I think if you just get into the details, we weren't wrong.
See, this is where we were ahead of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People misunderstood what we were saying.
Yeah, we were clear about something very specific.
What was going to happen.
And people ran with it thinking those guys are morons. When no, we were clearly predicting the future.
Listen, kids, we're playing chess.
And you're checkers.
You're playing checkers.
Let's go.
We may or may not. We definitely said this. Okay.
We absolutely said it.
We said Suns in 4.
Yes.
Right?
Which, when we said it,
we clearly meant that the Suns were going to win 2 games and then lose 4 in a row. I don't know why that seems so crazy.
Where is the disappropriation here? It's like the right to bear arms, right? It's everybody thinks.
Duh.
Yes. It's everybody should have the right to a pair of bear arms on their wall. Where is the confusion?
I thought we were pretty clear. Next time we'll be sure to.
We have to clarify ourselves for the BDE family, because apparently it is frowned upon in this establishment to not be more specific.
I was shocked that what happened.
That was unbelievable.
That was one hell of a comeback. You won, by the way. You received a point.
That was an easy one.
It was a very easy point. It is what it is. It's okay. So you're up 3-2. We made it happen. So you're up 3-2. So you can have it.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. We won't take too much time on it. It's been a week now. It's kind of old news, but there is something I want to talk about.
Let's go, baby.
Before we move on, and that is the celebration of winning the championship. Right? It's a great moment, and I told you this kind of last week about it a little bit. When I was younger, it's like early 2000s. I had a TV in my bedroom, and my mom always made me go to bed kind of early. But I remember it was summer, it was school time, and the Spurs and Lakers were playing. And I didn't want the Kobe to win. I wanted the Spurs to win, just because they were like the good guys, right? And Kobe
felt that way, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how it felt for me, anyways. As a kid, that's how I've kind of perceived it. And the Spurs were on the brink of winning, and I remember that being the case. And I remember being like late at night, like 10:30 at night. That again, when you're young, that's late,
right?
Flipping the TV on and watching Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Ginobili.
Yeah, volume 2.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, just watching it, right? On this like 12-inch like fat TV screen. Just to see these grown men be kids again.
Right.
Right? To celebrate this incredible moment. And since that, I've always enjoyed, no matter who wins, it's my team or not my team, even especially if my team loses, I always like to watch the other teams win because they still earned it. It's just something, it's cool to watch that moment of purity, right?
Whether you win or lose in that scenario, you have worked your ass off to get there.
Sure.
And, to the winners go the spoils, the spoils. And, the winners write history, right? They're the ones that get to say how it happened, right?
Yeah. So I've always enjoyed watching. I'll turn on any sport, even if I don't care, just to watch the celebration. Watching these grown men kind of just break down. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's fun to see.
They hit the pinnacle of their career. And at this point, they've been playing whatever sport it is. They've been playing youth. They've gone through college. Some of them. You
see it in their face, the hard work.
Right. And then you get to the pinnacle of professional sports, and they win a championship. And that's why, look, some of them don't know what to do.
Yeah, they don't.
And then you have guys like Tom, who we have on the flag over here.
He's just used to it.
He's so used to it.
It's weird, yeah.
He's just giggly about it.
It's like whatever. Yeah, it's no big deal.
7th one.
But I will say,
this is a good one though.
This is probably, I would say, my top one.
Yes. Well, look, I've watched Jordan, especially after he came back. I didn't see that. I know that was a little bit before.
But yeah, he was emotional.
Yeah, because he had the hat on and he was holding the trophy, and it was after his
dad passed.
Yeah, so
I remember
he had
that moment.
come back to basketball, and they were like showering him with champagne, and he didn't even pick his head up. He didn't care what was going on within 3 feet around him.
It was almost like the trophy was his dad. I do remember that. That was a big moment too.
But this one, I feel like is just as iconic because it's on the same level of greatness.
Sure. Yeah, and We'll watch. We'll show it, and then we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
This is obviously Giannis winning his first championship.
The emotions come pouring out. One of the greatest nights in Milwaukee sports history ends in a coronation.
Goosebumps.
I'm so happy for this kid.
Of the young man from Athens.
So that's it. That's all the whole clip of that. But just that moment of he's by, like we talked about this. He's by himself. Those two guys kind of dapped him up really quick, but nobody charged him. Nobody rushed him. They let him have that moment. Right. And what was special for me and why it's one of my favorite moments is because, again, why I enjoy watching these is because you get to see these guys. When you look into their eyes and you see that emotion on their face, you see the years of hard work just come out.
Yeah.
Right? Like they become an open book because they're so locked in the whole time.
Especially for him, like life experiences, because he came through a different path to that championship. And he was the superstar of it. And where he started versus where he ended is...
And you get all of that in that 20-second clip.
Yeah, the gravity of him. He doesn't care about the streamers. He doesn't care about the confetti. I'm sure at that point, like the adrenaline is so high that you don't even hear the screaming.
Yeah. It's just like it's almost like a dream, right?
I'm gonna go find a place to go sit down. I'm gonna go find a seat. I'm just gonna sit down and just
take it in. And what this shows a lot, which I appreciate too, because in our life we have a lot of cool experiences, right? Whether it's our first child, whether it's getting married, whether it's going to a national championship and watching it, whether it's being there, right? Just a lot of cool moments we have in our life that we forget to sometimes realize we're there and appreciate it. Right? For example, when I got married, I don't remember it. Perfectly frank, it happened so fast that you don't take the time, right? Because you're so caught up in trying to live the moment and be there and all this.
You have to be everybody's person.
Yeah,
you're not there for you at that point.
You don't soak it in. You don't soak in this day that you have dreamed about and planned out for so long. And for him to have that moment of like, I got to take this in because I may never be back. That's what was powerful to me is like, I'm going to go take a minute and look at all of this.
Look, it's very, very good breakdown. And look, the guy found the closest seat. He drowned out everything around him. Like, I'm sure there's media handlers that are coming to him. They're going to try to pull him away because he's got to have interviews and all these things. It was almost a thing. Like maybe he said it beforehand. Like, if we win,
don't bother me. I don't know.
I don't think so though. But
I think everybody noticed it pretty quickly what was going on.
Yeah,
except
and if you were watching it,
right.
Well, who's the security guard?
But he knows that's. I got to take my shot while I can get it too. And sometimes those guys, you don't realize it.
Look, everybody knew. Like the man didn't jump into a pile on the pitcher's mound. He didn't go into the locker room and be the first person to pick up champagne and start spraying it on everybody. Like, this guy walked away from all of it, found a seat where no one was sitting, and just sat down and just
soaked it in.
I'm a champion.
That's cool.
That's BDE.
Yes, sir.
That was great. I love that for him. He's a great kid. He's been nothing but more
really,
than
really
humble.
Cool guy. Yeah.
Even through the whole thing. Even if they didn't win, no one would say that Giannis was like one of the most humble kids that you've seen.
He's a really cool dude. I hope to see him win again. I think that was fun to watch.
And according to him, he may want to try to do it with another team. He got.
Yeah, he kept saying that, and we're not quite sure where we're headed with that.
We'll see how it goes.
Something that disappointed me, and we could have brought this into the LDE. But we don't. We have a better one for that.
We have a worse one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Is CP3 walked off?
Yeah.
Like instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly. Getting a little phone call here. And I was okay.
Hi, Mom.
Busy. I was okay with... I get you're frustrated. I get it. Like, you're upset. You're pissed off. But there's a level of, hey, just go dab him up and get off. He didn't talk to his teammates. He didn't say anything to nobody. He literally, as soon as the clock hit, beelined it to the locker room. And I've never been a fan of that. I've heard people. Other people have done that, and I get it. It's a competition. Yep. If we're middle of the series, I don't care, right?
Sure.
We're in war right now. I'm coming for your throat.
I'll see you again in
Correct.
3 days.
Because that happened like with the Pistons and stuff during
Yep.
Jordan. They walked
Jordan,
off.
yep.
I loved that. I was okay with that. I still think it's a little cowardly, but I'm okay with it because you're in the middle of war. I'm not here to be your
and
friend.
I'm coming back.
Yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow.
This isn't it.
But when it ends, though, we gotta shake hands.
You gotta shake. You gotta shake the man's hand.
Go congratulate the kid, dude. He's done something you couldn't in 16 years. You bum. Like, that frustrated me a lot. It's like, dude, like you had the whole NBA behind you because he's happy you're there. He beat you. You got beat.
You got beat.
Like, dude, just own up to it.
Look, and everybody was, and we even said it. We were big Chris Paul fans.
Yeah, sure.
We wanted the guy to win because he had done everything right.
That put a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, he had done everything right for so long, and he's a State Farm guy, and you're a State Farm guy, and that matters. He's got the alter ego of himself. But look, there's just something to sportsmanship that tells you that we're going to go play this game, but when we're done with this game, we're going to come back and we're going to respect whether or not we lost or whether or not we won, and if you did, but we come back as people, and that's the whole concept.
Yep.
And you see a lot of that in a lot of the post game NFL stuff, a lot of the post game college football stuff, where the teams after they don't just run away from one
No,
another.
they're pretty good about it.
Yeah, and they
have to be.
And some of them huddle and like do a prayer and things like that. But look, I understand that is the pinnacle right now for Chris Paul. He was in Game 6.
I get it. Yeah,
and
I get it. But
so emotions
You're a
run
veteran.
high, but
Act like
you're
it.
a veteran. Yeah, you're not a kid. I could understand like maybe
Booker
running
but
off.
He didn't.
He did. He stayed.
He stayed. He congratulated a few people, then he left.
And then he like, look, I don't expect you to stand out here and watch
No,
the
not at
trophy
all.
presentation.
Just go dab it up and get out of there.
But just
Now the argument you can make, well, I'm not going to take his time, take away from it. That's bullcrap. But this leads us into our BDE, one of our BDE moments of the week, and this is a great point of kind of countering that argument of because of what their coach did, Monty Williams, is he went into the locker room, middle of their celebration, middle of them popping champagne. They've got the ski mask on, like middle of the celebration. Monty Williams walks in there and just congratulates the entire team.
Yep.
Like, again, Monty Williams is a little bit older. He's a coach. I get that. I haven't seen that happen too many times where a coach goes in there and says, hey, guys, you guys earned this shit. You guys deserve this.
I want to say Roy Williams did it with Kansas.
North Carolina coach?
Yeah, he's in North Carolina now.
Yeah.
But he lost a championship to Kansas when he was with Kansas, and I want to say to North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And I could be wrong. Who they lost to, I can't remember, but I know he was still in Kansas.
Okay.
They were a powerhouse. They were I want to say they were predicted to win, and he went into their locker room afterwards and gave them the like, you guys
job.
are
That people don't realize how much that means to those guys who won, and that takes a lot to go do that because you're just as pissed as everyone else about losing.
right. I mean, look,
and to go say, hey, you earned this. Takes a lot.
Look, and I'm not taking anything away from the athletes that win or lose in those scenarios. But if you think that the coaches haven't made commitments and spent time or lost time with their families, to go do the things that it takes to be successful, a coach hurts just as much as the players do.
For sure.
And so it's not easy for them to walk into a room. I mean, that's humbling.
Very, very much. And that's why it's a BDE. It's a lifestyle. It's huge to do that.
And that's for him to go in there.
That isn't a moment. It's you have to live that lifestyle to be able to. It's a natural thing to go in there and do that.
That's right.
So that's our basketball talk for the week. We have one more BDE moment before we hop into the LDE moment.
Again, I just want to reiterate.
Go ahead.
We were maybe just a little unclear as a team here, trying to communicate to our BDE family. We meant Suns in 4.
I love how to bring it back because the first 5 minutes we didn't make it clear.
No.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So this is our next BDE moment. It's getting excited.
Yeah, this is a good one.
We're getting close.
We're starting to build up to. There's a little build up.
I sent an email out 2 weeks ago, a week ago,
okay,
in regards to fantasy football.
Yes,
because it's getting close.
It's right here.
We're 30 days plus away,
Yes.
about 35 days or so.
We're tiptoeing, baby.
For the draft, the fantasy draft. So this is perfect timing, I'd say. Old Minshew, glad to see he's back.
He's not
He cut
back.
off
He
the
just
mullet.
never left.
He cut the
man
mullet
never
off.
left.
I cut the mullet off. I felt like it kind of takes away from the vibe a little bit, right? And he was on a Chris Long podcast,
Okay.
and they asked him about his preparation for being quarterback one, and this was his response: "In preparation for the competition, I haven't shit in weeks. Number 2 isn't an option for me." I don't think there's anything else left to be said, to be honest with you.
Look, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm quivering in my golden boots.
Bro, the guy's just
When's the last time we had a quarterback competition in Jacksonville that we actually thought mattered? But just to the Minshew thing,
I don't even think it's close, but when you make comments like that, now I'm questioning, like, is there something
maybe that we don't know?
I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I love that he's not laying down.
If there's any blood in that kid, Urban Meyer will find it.
Yeah.
That's what he did at Florida. That's what he did at Ohio State.
I hope.
Like he found
I
a
wonder if they
way.
could find him an alternative position. Just because that guy needs to be on the field.
We
I don't know
already
what
found
he
a
could
guy
do.
who was a quarterback, and we
put him to
plugged
tight
him
end?
into tight end.
Maybe
I can't remember his name. Is it Yam?
Is it Jim?
Jim Yebo? Is it Jim Yebo?
Tim? No, it's not
Tim Yabo. I think I'm mispronouncing it.
He could be a slot guy. Like, just to get the guy on the field. I don't know.
Yeah, just put him on special teams.
We're spitballing here. I don't know.
Look, anybody who
the guy, I think he's going to be, if he stays on the Jags team, he is going to be a staple in the BDE moments. I don't think from week to week, there's no way this guy's not in it. He'll find a way.
Yeah. Look, some guys, especially the veteran quarterbacks, I wouldn't call him a veteran, but when the young guy comes in, they almost reside themselves to being more of the veteran guy and like the nurturing coach or
Sure.
the player. And it doesn't sound like, from what I can tell by not taking a number 2, it doesn't sound like Minshew is willing to do this. Like, it'll be an interesting dynamic. Yes. It'll be fun though.
Like you said, he's not really like a vet, right? He's still that young competitor. So.
Yeah, he's the young guy who has fire, who wants to be the starter.
Who has something to prove still.
Sure, absolutely. And he came through an offensive system from Washington State with Mike Leach.
He balled out there.
He did, but it was wide open.
Yeah,
like no running back, 5 wide. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a different approach to what the NFL is.
Sure.
Because you do.
He's got an arm. That's what I think they can work with. So
yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, obviously, I want Trevor to be that guy, but it's fun to hear that there's.
Look, here's what I would love. I would love for Trevor and Minshew to go at it. Minshew wins the starting job for the first 3 weeks because he's that good. Because he's clearly
proved himself.
He proved himself. And then if it turns into a transition of Trevor
earning it
once he has some, and I don't mind taking like 1 or 2 L's.
No,
in the transition,
undefeated or bust.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Either
it's a national championship or it's not. Wait. Oh wait. No.
Tim Tebow's got it. Don't worry about it.
Guys. Yeah. He's got. Well, he has the locker room speeches.
We're good.
We'll put those on plaques all over. I'll tell
Duval,
whatever the name of the stadium is now. The Dailies. Amphitheater.
Yes.
We'll put plaques. We'll put plaques of his speeches all over those.
So that's our BDE. And we've been trying to be consistent with our LDEs because they're fun.
Yeah,
we enjoy them. With LDEs, little dick moments of the week, or little dick energy.
That's what you just can't be the folks that we talk about. You're so far removed from
BDE.
The BDE. You are the LDE.
And that's going to be our USA basketball team.
Gosh, which hurts so hard to say.
As much as that hurts, they can't stop losing. And the reason was, so losing doesn't mean you're LDE, right? Because people lose all the time.
That's fine. Yeah, as a matter of fact, our BDE moment was the losing coach. being a badass.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
I appreciate that.
So losing doesn't mean you're an LDE. It's the fact of the matter is that you are the USA Olympian basketball team. We are not supposed to lose. And maybe we've been spoiled, but we are not supposed to lose, guys. We created the sport. Like, this is our bread and butter.
Yeah.
We lose soccer. I'm cool with that.
Dr.
all right?
Naismith would be pissed.
We lose soccer, right?
I don't care about that.
That's fine.
Y'all, everybody else has owned that for so long. We're just now getting into it.
Right?
Like, this is fun.
We lost in archery yesterday, which we'll get into in a little bit. Which we were the number 2 seed, which I was kind of shocked. But look, I'm okay with that too. Like,
fine.
Whatever. That's a weird sport. We lost cycling to some like Italian guy. Obviously.
Okay, fine. They have hills.
Yeah. American finished like 7th. That's a W in my book.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Like short of our one testicle.
Lance guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides him,
yeah.
we've been irrelevant ever since.
Yeah.
So losing in basketball is not acceptable.
Not acceptable.
The women get it. They dominate. On 3-on-3,
crush it.
They're dominating. They understand we were supposed to win these games.
The dream team of 1992.
Started that trend.
Yes.
Where, hey, we were never going to lose again.
We're never going to lose again.
Now, we've lost in 04, whatever, but we've lost every prelim game.
Yeah, so we've lost in scenarios where we lost and we got bronze, or we lost and we got silver.
No, we have...
This time, this
well, we haven't lost a title. So this morning, actually, before you got here, we lost the first group play.
That's
so
what
this
I
is
mean.
the first game that's counted. This is the first time we've lost in group play since 04.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yes.
we've lost before. Like America has lost and got silver or bronze.
Only one other time.
Right. But that's my point. We're losing in
me look it
group play.
Which we have one time in 04.
Which is fine. But I mean, like,
But we also didn't lose like 10 prelims
What I'm
before
saying
this.
is, like, our version of losing is we don't put gold around our basketball player's neck.
It's just already there.
It's assumed.
It is assumed. It really
It's
is.
assumed by us that we're going to walk into the Olympics
Dominate.
with the male basketball team and crush it. And we have. And I think there's only been 1 or 2 times.
Since 92, I've looked up the other day. We only lost one time. I think we got silver. I think we lost to like Spain or something like
Yeah,
that.
that would make sense. I think that was like the Pau Gasol.
Yes, it was a good team.
Yeah, it was a good team that we lost against, and that's fine. But that's what I'm saying. Like, when we say losing, we say that we're losing gold. What we're losing right now
I get what you're
are
saying.
group
Group play.
It's
Prelim
not
plays.
This is a bad team. It's not a bad team.
I think that
talent wise,
the issue is Kevin Durant.
it's always Kevin Durant. I mean, if anybody can't just look at the
guy's a
team and
bum.
say, yeah, he's just
What are we doing?
one-legged bum out there.
No, I mean I kid, but I'm trying to pull up this thing.
And then I don't know if Popovich is the right coach.
I don't know.
Look, Popovich is
I love Popovich.
He's a little
but
bit of a hard ass, but I don't know if he's the right guy for the veterancy of the team that we have. I don't see that dynamic working well right now. And look,
We got bronze in 04.
Okay.
So we were gold in 92, 96, 2000, 2008, 12, and 16. So 04 was the year we won.
Our off year.
Off year. Yeah, that was like the Allen Iverson team. It was an older team. LeBron was on that team. He was the second year, but he was on that team. So it was an older team. Well, not older now, but they were obviously in their prime when we played. So we're on that path again. Now again,
I don't know.
I would say
I don't even say we're on that path. I think we're behind that path.
the teams now are much better than they were before because these guys are playing. They're going to play for their countries when before they would come play for it. Like Nigeria, for an example, they have 3 studs on their team. That one of them, Achuyi, plays for Miami. Mm-hmm. I think 2 of the guys play for the Heat, and typically those guys they have the option, right, to play wherever they want to play. Right. And I think in past,
and even a Giannis, I mean, he has the option to play for Greece
or us. Yep.
Or us.
Gobert, he's playing for France right now.
Yeah.
Tony Parker always played for France.
Always.
Luka Doncic isn't playing for us.
No.
He's playing for Scotia.
Well,
Scotia.
For the longest time, and I think 1992 was the first time that you could bring professionals.
Yep.
And then so these guys who were NBA players,
They wanted to play.
yeah, they wanted to
play.
be in, but they couldn't. But now they have the option to go, and they have different nationalities.
The talent is starting to spread out a lot more.
Well, if you look at the NBA draft, even just this year, there were, I want to say, 7 players.
Yeah.
7 players that never even stepped foot on American soil before.
Yep. It's frustrating to watch.
It's frustrating for us, and yeah, it is. But
hopefully we turn it around. I think we can. Obviously it's early, but it's never good to get behind in group play because it could get slippery quick. But speaking of the Olympics, they're here. I'm so excited.
You're pumped,
dude. It's been I turned it on. I haven't turned it off since Friday.
Yeah, I walked in here and you were
watching
you
rugby
were watching
or water polo.
Men's water polo, which we won, by the way.
We did. We beat Japan.
Japan.
Yes. Yeah. So it was
14-12.
First game of group play, which was exciting. But that's what that's exactly what I love about the Olympics.
Yeah.
Is water polo. Is those sporting events. I watched badminton yesterday. I watched archery, which I talked about, I was on the edge of my seat. I could not believe how intense that was.
Yeah, millimeters.
Millimeters. So one of the darts hit the line of the 10, and they had to put an asterisk by it because they had to go get a measure, like basically a magnifying glass, to see if the tip had hit the 10 spot or not.
Really?
Yeah, it was that close.
That makes sense.
The game was so good. We went down. America was a 2 seed. We were playing a 15 seed. We went into a shootout.
Which would make sense in that sport.
Right? The perfect. So basically, each person got a shot, and it was a total. We ended up losing, which was pathetic. I expect that, right? It didn't really matter to me.
Whatever.
But it was really cool to watch. And then ended up watching the finals later on. Watched, what's the horse?
Equestrian.
Yeah,
you can get that word out of your mouth earlier.
I was almost threw up. I couldn't really get behind the horse dancing. That was kind of where I drew my line.
I don't like that. I think that's dumb.
I watched table tennis, but I love ping pong. God, I love a good ping pong match. You know me.
Yes.
Ping pong is my jam.
You've been in it for a minute.
Yeah, I'm always here to watch those guys play. What else did I? 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah, I'm interested for that.
That was really cool to
that.
watch. So what I enjoyed about it, because obviously when you play,
are you half court?
It's half court.
Okay.
And it's very fast paced. So as soon as you make it, you know how typically if we go out and play like on the streets right now, right? If we go play at the park, we're playing half court. Once you make it, either just make it, take it, or you make it and you pass to the person and they check it in and then you have to pass it in, right? The game is constant. As soon as the other team
makes it. Do you check in?
No. So let's say you and I are playing each other. You make it. My teammate has to grab it out and pass it back out. So you have to clear it. You have to pass it out by the 3, but it keeps on moving. It never stops. So it just passes it out, and then now the ball is
clearing it part like
that's consistent. Yeah. Of like, hey, hits rim, you got to clear it.
Yeah.
Right. But as soon as it drops in, you just pass it out and you keep going. It's really fast paced. It's really exciting.
That would be fun for me.
It's really cool. Honestly, I'd rather that than basketball. I've always made the argument that some sports, like I feel like basketball shouldn't be in there because it has we have the NBA. Now for other countries, I get it. But sports that we see all the time, I'm not a huge fan of. I love the one-offers.
Yeah.
You know?
Speaking of one-offers, did you see the track and field guy that got hit by a javelin?
No.
And then still competed?
No.
Like an hour and a half later? Yeah. Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Okay, I didn't hear about that.
Some Olympics talk because we do have another week of this.
We have 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we're
going to play. Yeah, but I'll bring that back up. I'm surprised I didn't bring that up in the precast. But he was out there warming up, and just a random javelin decided it was gonna kind of spear him. Now look, I'm not looking like a Roman, like it's going straight through me. I'm gonna yank that bad boy out. It glanced him, and it was good enough to like.
Wow, no, I didn't hear about that. It's crazy.
Yeah, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back.
Okay. But yeah, I watched skateboarding too, which is the first time it's been in the Olympics.
I mean, they put snowboarding in the Winter Olympics, so
that was
skateboarding in the summer.
Seems overdue.
Seems
overdue. It was cool to watch. So LDE moment last week was the Sooners. Longhorns down. Yeah. Right. They're going to start enforcing that foul a lot more than usual. Well, literally the next day, we dropped that LDE moment.
Right.
I think it was either the next day or the following day. It came out that Texas and Oklahoma were leaving the Big 12.
Yeah, they don't like the rules.
Yeah, to go to the SEC.
Even Texas we don't like this rule.
So Tuesday, I think it was a thought. Like, it was like, hey, we want to leave. And then Thursday, Friday, they're like, yeah, it looks pretty like pretty legit. We're dipping. We're going to the SEC.
This is big.
It's crazy to me. So I was kind of wondering where's the in play in this? Like, what? This makes no sense to me. Like, how are they going to just destroy a Big 12 conference like that? Right. One. And the SEC
they
now
already
is gonna,
did it once. I mean, if you think about it, Nebraska moved to the Big Ten.
Okay.
And they play the Ohio States and the Wisconsins
Yep.
of the world. Colorado left and went to the Pac, and they play the USCs and the UCLAs of the world.
They left the Big 12.
Yes.
So, well, I guess my thing is, though, is that because they're talking about making SEC a 4 conference now instead of 2. That's what I saw.
Yes.
Splitting up into 4.
If they add Oklahoma and Texas, they would their concept in the build out. Which if you already have a concept and a build out of how it would look, there's a lot of back end negotiations that have already happened. But from what it looks like, there would be 4 pods of 4x4.
Yeah, 4x4. So if
Maybe
it's
16, right?
so I guess my question, because right now it's the leader of the East and the West face off in the SEC championship.
Right.
So
I guess what you would have is pod 1 and 2, which would likely be anything like a LSU, Arkansas, Missouri,
or maybe they don't
Texas,
even have an East and the West.
Texas
It's just the top
A&M.
2 teams.
Well, they maybe
Instead of like East, because before you could have like a weak East team and a strong West.
You're still required to have a championship game, like a championship game, in order to qualify for the playoffs.
So that's what I'm saying. So would you have the top 2?
No, I think you would put pod so if they break it down into pods of 4, you'd have pod 1 and 2 on one side and pod 3 and 4 on the other. So like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina.
That's 1.
It would be, I mean, Tennessee would all be, I mean, you could almost just take the Mississippi River and split it.
That's how it looks. That's how
it's starting to play
so
out.
you got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right. My question though is, so is it going to be the top? Okay. So I guess still it would be the one out of these. I got it. Never mind. It's going to be the same. So it's still the top one out of this side and top one out of this side.
Yep.
So you're just playing.
You may have pod 1 and 2 on the west side of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
That both have the same record and who goes in. So, but I mean, I
They'll
think
have a tiebreaker game like normal.
They'll have that, or they'll just use whoever's the highest ranked nationally.
Okay.
And then whoever's the highest, if the same scenario happens on the East, then you just take the highest ranked nationally. I think. I mean, we'll
have to see.
It's all speculation because nothing's even been.
We're kind of getting away from where we were headed because you have a source.
I've got a guy. Look, the Texas Oklahoma thing isn't official yet, but
it looks good.
But none of the people who are involved are saying it's not happening, and that's when you start to see people who say it's not happening.
That's a good point.
But this one.
Sidetrack real quick. We had a lot of talks about stocks, right, and these SPAC mergers happening.
Yeah.
And there's a big SPAC merger. Like it was early rumors. Like I mean, like literally one guy came out and said that hey, CCIV and Lucid Motors are going to become a SPAC. They're going to merge together. Like the two had no connection whatsoever. They did, but like, how is that even a thing, right?
Right.
It was early, and I invested into it because the biggest thing is nobody from either party came out and said, hey, this isn't real.
Right.
And if for how much traction and energy it was coming, why wouldn't one person be like, hey, whoa, let's relax a minute, right? Nobody was talking bad about it.
Agreed.
Guess what happened? The merger happened.
Of course.
Because, again, like it's one of those things, like you said, nobody's talking.
If nobody says it's not happening, it's probably happening.
Yeah.
It's look, I mean, like
you're not defending it.
The media loves to run with things, and they love to make their own news. That's what they do.
Start a rumor. Let's see what happens.
There's athletic directors all over the SEC that are current, right? Especially Texas A&M. Texas A&M, to bring Texas into the conference, they don't like each other. So for the athletic director, the athletic director for Texas A&M hasn't said a word that says this isn't happening, right? The athletic director of Arkansas, who's gonna now have to deal with Oklahoma, and there's just no one saying it's not happening.
Yeah,
I think everybody is just kind of.
So this goes to your tweet that you have from what you've told me, a guy who's never been wrong.
Yeah,
like us with Suns and 4.
Right. We weren't wrong. Ever.
Ever.
Good job bringing that back. I like that. But look, there's some static. Okay, so the SEC is pushing for the two teams that we think they're going to grab, which is Oklahoma and Texas. But from what I can hear, there is also significant talks happening with Florida State, Clemson, Ohio State, and Michigan,
All coming to
bring the SEC to a 20-team conference that could change the entire landscape of college football.
So the hypothesis you and I were discussing prior to this,
if you have a conference of the most significant
football teams,
financially driven football teams. I mean, like Alabama makes a ton of money. Texas has their own network.
I said
Texas A&M. A lot of people don't think of this about Texas A&M, but Texas A&M, the alumni that they put out is so hardcore committed into pumping back in. Their alumni, like just the revenue is
insane,
unbelievable.
So, I think another great point to put to that is all those teams bring great TV ratings. You always want to watch those teams. So I said there's a few teams that I think would make the hypothesis be perfect, and the hypothesis is that they're going to basically branch away from the NCAA.
Yes,
and create their own.
That would be my thought. Is they don't want to be under the NCAA. Like,
they can act as their own because they're so big and powerful.
At that point, you don't need the NCAA anymore. And I think the NCAA is already – there's just been a couple of scenarios where they've just been sluggish or just not on top. They're just not very well run.
Sure.
Right? Like the new NIL stuff. Right? They had to get sued 7 times before they came up with a process. Where the schools themselves, the conferences, were like, well, we're ready to present.
Yeah,
like this is but the NCAA is it just trips over itself.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a revolution, right? Like they're fighting back a little bit against the big guy.
Yeah, who's
had the control all this time. And it goes, look, it's kind of like what the college kids did. Like, hey, we're bringing you all this revenue. Why can't we get a piece?
Why can't we get a piece? And the SEC has done an amazing job. Their leadership.
I would say it's the best conference in the country, but it's whatever.
It's subjective, but yes, okay. We could at least say it's out there.
Real quick? You said FSU is coming to the SEC, right?
Just for the record, they're couple
coming to
times
the SEC, right?
Well,
can you just answer the question?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Look, we tried to come to the SEC when FSU was a independent back in the 90s, early 90s, like 91,
Yeah,
92.
I think it's going to become more just, again, like that area, like the more of a...
Florida blocked it because they didn't want us in there.
Yeah, you guys don't want the smoke.
Pretty sure we had.
So we'll keep an eye on that hypothesis.
Look,
again, nobody come after us, okay? We're simply just
we're spitballing here. Yeah.
All right.
Look, the landscape.
The two.
But we know the landscape is going to change.
Something's got to happen.
And I was talking to our actuary.
Okay.
The person who tells us after the cast.
Okay.
How
bad we are. Gotcha,
yeah.
Ryan. Okay.
Yes. But
I'm sure we'll hear about
the timing of what we talked about a few weeks ago with expanding into a 12-team.
Oh, yes.
And now all of a sudden the SEC is expanding. You see what I mean? Like, I don't think in a business atmosphere that's this big, that has this much money riding on it, that those two things
are connected.
Weren't somewhat like communicated between people. I don't know. Look, again, it's spitballing.
But that's what we're here for.
That's what we're.
This is what
yeah, I'm here to hype everything up.
You know what I'm saying?
Wish I had my hype cup.
Yeah, it's over there.
It's over there. Right, see you soon.
Great show, Holly. Pleasure as always.
Gosh,
love it. BDE, keep it flowing.
Keep
it flowing until next week. Listen, I can promise you there's going to be more Olympic talk because it's my favorite time. I love Olympics, so we're going to be talking about it constantly. So be prepared for that. And we're kind of in a dull moment. There's no NBA finals, so thankfully we have the Olympics right now, to be honest with you. It's kind of a perfect little segue.
We have football practice.
Yeah, right. It's a perfect little gap. Baseball is not hot right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Aaron Rodgers, I think he's gonna do the exact thing that we thought he was gonna do. Show up for practice and go.
Just play. Yeah. We'll see. Or he'll retire. We'll see. Anyways, keep that BDE flowing. Be back next week, Wednesday, 8 a.m. every Wednesday. Once we grow, we'll do some more. But right now, we're once a week, and we enjoy it. So that's good.
This is why I love the BDE. I love BDE.
It's fun. When it's fun and when it's easy, we keep it flowing.
Yeah. Welcome to the family.
Yes, sir. I'm Sheldon.
And I'm Holly.
Boogity boogity.
Shut it down. Just wait around and you'll see it. We